Like I always say, if you need to cuss, just use it the right way.
There you go.
Is there anything you don't want me to mention?
I'm very transparent, so you can ask me anything.
Okay.
So,
All right. Good deal. I like it. JC, I'm ready when you are, if you want to count us off.
Trying to become a homeowner is so frustrating. I mean, I wish it were easy to find out what options or things I may qualify for.
There actually is an easier way. I'd love to tell you about it.
Well, there is. Hold on, let me call you back. Okay, I'm interested. What's the catch?
There's no catch. If you have 2 minutes, I can literally show you now. It's really easy.
Sure, let's go.
Okay. It's going to coach you line by line and have you answer some questions that'll identify the best loan products for you, starting with the property address, which is specific to the area which programs will work for you. It's going to guide you through a series of numbers, loan options, and give you everything so you can choose what works best for you.
Well, I had no idea there was so many options out there for me. It was so easy, it was so quick, and you didn't even have to run my credit.
I know, I told you in less than 2 minutes, right? Did I make it?
You did. Let's go.
All right, let's go.
And welcome back to another episode of Key Factors Podcast Real Estate AF, where the AF stands for And Finance, and I'm your host, Mark Jones, and we are powered by ReviewMyMortgage.com, the largest index of mortgage programs in the nation. And on this discussion, I invited two guests, but only one of them was able to join us today. So shout out to the other guest that couldn't make it. She'll love to see this when it's all said and done. But what I've been doing lately is asking ChatGPT to tell me a little bit about my guests. And before I intro, I would like to read this to you guys. So we've got Zach and Mariana Castillo are a dynamic duo behind the Castillo Group, one of San Antonio's top real estate teams known for their experience, dedication, and client-focused approach. With years of experience helping buyers, sellers, and investors navigate the market, they have built a reputation of delivering exceptional service and results. Whether it's negotiating a deal, guiding a first-time homebuyer, or leveraging innovative marketing strategies, Zach and Mariana are passionate about helping people achieve their goals of real estate. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Zach Castillo. Zach, how are you?
I'm good. I'm
Yeah?
good. I need ChatGPT to gas me up more.
Not
often.
bad,
Yeah,
right?
That's pretty
Not
good.
bad. So in this discussion, since we don't have Mariana here, it's all on you.
I know. Fortunately, it's not the better half.
Yeah, right? That's what I like
it's
to
the
say.
other half.
The other half. So Zach, tell us about yourself. Where did you come from? Where did you guys grow up? All that good stuff.
Yeah, good questions. I'm originally from San Antonio.
Okay.
Or not really originally. My military family.
And try and talk into that mic.
There we go.
Perfect.
My parents are from San Antonio.
Okay.
My dad's military, so I was born in Lubbock, Texas. And then, at the age of 3, moved to San Antonio. I've been here ever since then. Grew up through all my life in San Antonio. Then when I graduated from Warren High School.
Okay.
Went to Texas State. That's where we decided to go and expand my wings, but didn't go too far.
Sure.
And that's where I met Mariana, actually. So
Y'all met at Texas State up the street?
we met through friends. So
Okay.
I had a fraternity brother who was there, my little brother in the fraternity. He was from San Antonio as well too. And he introduced me to Mariana. We just one night I was drunk and went up to her. I was 19 years old and said, "Hey, I'm going to rock your world." And
Yeah.
she looked at me and was like, "You're disgusting. Get away from me." And
That's awesome.
back then it wasn't really popular sliding into people's DMs, but I slid into her DMs.
Yes.
And ever since then, that was 2008. So it's been a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me as well. And it's funny because I went off to college. What year did you graduate?
College or high school?
High school.
07.
07. Okay. I was 04. So I'm just a tad older. But when I graduated, it was like, okay, I need to get out of here so I can experience some stuff. So I went over to Abilene.
Okay.
Yeah, so not too far away, but
Yeah.
still a little ways away that I had to make the trips to come back and visit and act like I was totally out of the state and whatnot.
Yes, but not really. You were just down the street.
I was down the street, yeah.
I was 45 minutes away. So it was good enough. I got the college experience. And
There
I
you
think
go.
that's at the end of the day what I was very grateful for, because I did not do anything that I went to
Absolutely.
college for.
Yeah, so are you safe to say, what did you graduate with?
I did physical therapy was
Okay.
my main focus. So it's exercise and sports science with a physical therapy emphasis. Literally, I tell everyone that's when I found real estate. So I found real estate when I was like 21 years old. I was begging my teacher. I remember specifically PT 3400 as an anatomy class.
Wow.
I knew I wasn't going to become a physical therapist, and I just begged the teacher or professor. I said, please just pass me. I'm got my real estate license. I'm going to go sell real estate.
Yeah.
I just need you to give me a 60, which is what I needed to pass. So I could walk the stage. I had my family coming in, and when I got my grades, I got a 60. So I was like, perfect.
Boom.
I'm going to real estate.
At that time, weren't they doing that transition? Physical therapists needed to now have a doctorate degree?
Yes.
Right?
So I didn't know that. I wish they would have told me that. Because then they said it was super hard to get in, like you got to know all these things. And that one class was like one of the filter classes, that PT 3400. And I knew at that moment that just wasn't what I was passionate about. I did like an internship, and it was just not fun. And I also, in my head, I was like, entrepreneur mindset.
Sure.
I don't like a cap on my income. I want to be able to have limitless opportunities. And I remember asking the person who owned that, and I said, how are you doing? Like, how do you grow this? And he shared kind of the back end and the frustrations of it. And then I knew there would be no way I could thrive in that. I didn't want to do that at all. So I just did it to just finish off. And it sucks that I didn't get to use my degree, but I did learn a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
Got a lot of just life experience.
Well, Kristen, my wife, she went to school for almost the same thing, found out you had to have the doctorate. She was doing kinesiology, wanted to be a physical therapist concept, worked at a PT clinic, all that, and then switched over to nursing. So she got her degree in kinesiology, then went over to UT Health Science to get her BSN for nursing. And now she's doing real estate and insurance.
Interesting. Yeah.
Right. So, Now, if you could tell me how, I know you found real estate then. What was that like? What was your journey in the discovery of real estate?
That was a complete accident. It wasn't, if you would ask me like at 19, I would be like, oh, you can get in real estate. It wasn't even on my radar. I mean, I watched $1 Million Listing. That's when it was very popular then. Which kind of ages me because that's when it first started.
That's fun.
But I remember we had some friends who went to A&M at College Station, and we went to go visit them. And we happened to stay at a really cool complex that they were at. It's called Aspen Heights.
Okay.
Eventually, they came in San Antonio. And I thought there was a cool concept. You could rent a house, but you had the amenities of a apartment. You had a pool, gym, all that fun stuff. And Mariana's dad, he does developing and building. And I said, hey, well, what if I pitched this idea to him? What if I say, hey, San Marcos is a good place to do it. It's up and coming. It's growing. Or not really up and coming, but it was, in that renovation time where they were trying to become a big school. And I said, this would be a great opportunity. So we actually found everything. We found a piece of land. We found a real estate agent. We helped design the plans. Funny enough, we pre-leased the whole property.
Holy cow.
So me and Mariana, we found the property manager. They said, well, we'll help us do this. And we went through and we started selling and basically pre-leasing the place because we needed to have investors for that project. Come to find it, the investors pulled out. We had to rehome all these people about a couple months before they were supposed to be moving in. I was very naive. I thought they could build a whole apartment complex in 2 months. I don't know why I thought that, but that was it.
Hey, wishful thinking.
Yeah. But the property manager and the real estate agent there, he was a broker, and he said, I asked him for a job. I said, look, you've already seen what I could do.
Yeah.
How about we work, together and we do property management. I was doing all the student properties. So hired me on as a leasing agent, and I got to really learn that business, helped him build it and build systems around it. And that's when I found out I really had a passion around it. And then I asked him, I said, hey, well, can I get a raise? Because at that time I was getting paid like $28,000.
Sure.
Again, I was only 21 years old.
Beer money.
So it was good enough.
Yeah.
But then we were finally going to graduate, finally get done. I said, I really want to make more money. And he said, I can't pay you more in this business, unfortunately. But he showed me his 1099 and said, but this is what I did last year in real estate sales. And I was like, oh, $700,000. That sounds like fun.
Nice. Yeah.
Sign me up. And he said, if you're willing to do it, I'll pay for your license. He paid for my license. Back then it was very easy. I mean, I literally just click, went through classes, and I got my real estate license like 2 months.
We'll talk about that. I'm going to add that to the notes. The idea of it back then, it was easy.
Yeah, it was super easy. And then so that's kind of what started it. And we started in San Marcos. I did apartment locating.
Okay.
That was a super easy job. I just got to convince people to write my name on an application, and I got 100% rent. So I started doing that, but eventually me and Mariana were like, okay, we're not going to stay in San Marcos. We want to move back to San Antonio.
Sure.
So that was in the fall of 2013. And we found, he was with Keller Williams. So he recommended us with Keller Williams in San Antonio. And that's when I jumped in and said, okay, let's do full-time sales and do it by myself. And so that was August of 2013. So
Holy
here we
cow.
are, almost 12 years later.
Yeah, man. So I guess before you even got your license, you were already working on an actual real estate development project.
Yes.
With your father-in-law.
Yeah. And that's
soon to be father-in-law at the
what
time.
My passion is. I love development. I love designing. I love building. I love that part of it. And so it allowed my creative juices to really go in there. And since I created it, I love to sell what I create. So then it was easier to sell at that point.
Yeah, those conversations are always intriguing. I have Gilly, good friend of mine, on here quite often, and he does a lot of development down on the south side of town, doing a good job of it right now. And it always gets a lot of questions from the people out there that are going, well, how do I get into that? I mean, the first step is money, for sure. That's so in your growth from going from leasing agent to real estate agent, and was Mariana doing this all alongside you?
Not yet.
Okay.
So she didn't join until 2014, 2015-ish time period. So that first couple of months, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't even know what I signed up for. So I signed up for like the training with Keller Williams.
Right.
At that moment in time, again, 12 years ago, I was the youngest person in the room. I was 24 years old. And every time I'd go in, everyone was old enough to be my grandparent, to be completely honest, or my parents. And I would get that a lot. So I remember I didn't know what I was signing up for. And they said, you got to call people. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to do that. Open houses, like, okay, I could do that.
Right.
And then I didn't realize I actually had to lead generate and create business and leads. So that was kind of a shocker. And so then I basically just trying to teach myself, but I was terrified. Mark, like if you would have heard me, I remember there was one moment, and it's a pivotal moment in my life. I started calling expired listings.
Okay.
And I remember calling this person, and I just kept saying, as it was ringing, please don't answer, please don't answer, please don't answer. And then I get to one of those answers, but it's like, you reached the wrong number. And I was like, dang, you like completely, like, I thought someone was going to answer. Like I was going to get a voicemail. It was a wrong number, but I had all that anxiety. And I realized, dang, this is scary. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, because I didn't know anyone really. I would say, like, once I moved to San Marcos and came back, I didn't really keep in touch with my friends. And even if I did, my friends weren't buying homes at 24 years old. So I just didn't know what I was doing. So at that moment, I joined a team. So I did it by myself for about 6 months and realized it was hard. I sold 3 properties. 2 of them were pieces of land for my father-in-law to develop. One turned into our house that we built. Okay. And then was Mariana's aunt. And I helped her aunt sell her house. Did it, within a month. So it was like a really cool win to have for my first sale. Then I had another client, and I always remember her, Laura Haley. I'll never forget her. She made me run around the whole city of San Antonio, and she never bought a home. She was a realtor.com lead.
Oh, man.
And I just remember I was like, man, this is hard. Yeah. So I decided, if you tell me what to do, I'll do it. And I get scared of people a little bit. So like I needed that accountability. Sure. I was 24. So I joined a team, and I was a buyer agent, and I did pretty well. I mean, I think that first year I closed about 16 deals. Okay. Really learned a lot.
And that was in what year?
That was 2014. Okay,
gotcha.
And then Mariana joined towards the end of that year, and she was like, okay, she joined the team we were on, was doing more of the listing side. And then eventually we came to a part where like, okay, I think it's time that we do this on our own. Yeah. And we decided to open up the Castillo Group, and that was March of 2015. So we just celebrated our 10-year anniversary.
Congratulations on that. Wow. That's not an easy feat. Matter of fact, I'm going to be asking some questions later about the process of building your team, because I myself, I got in the business in 2012. And the first year, my first full year, I was a top producer. I mean, it was like, hey, what's he doing over there? I was using social media. And at the time, we didn't have assistants. We didn't have that extra that you could have these days. So it was like, well, do I start building a team? What do I do here? Because there was too much business for me to handle at the time for one person, but utilized social media, and it grew and grew. So with you guys going through that process, at what point in time did you feel like, okay, it's time to grow a team?
From the day one. So when we decided, okay, we're going to build a team, we made that commitment. We're going to build a team. We're not going to be just real estate agents.
Right.
And the way my brain works, I'm very systematic and more of like an operations guy than it is on the like sales side.
Sure.
So through that, I was like, okay, I'm going to build the team. We were Keller Williams, so that was the model. The team model was what we were kind of ingrained into our head. So from day one, I said, okay, I know I'm not supposed to do paperwork. We didn't have a lot of business coming in, so we worked our butts off to say, okay, let's get business. And within 30 days, we hired our first assistant.
Wow.
Some college girl that we just said, hey, we need part-time work, eventually turned into like foolish part-time work.
Sure.
And we said, okay, this is where we're going to go. And we just started adding in people and adding in admin and leverage that route. And that first year, between March of 2015 to the end of the year, December 2015, me and Mariana closed almost about 50 properties.
Wow.
For $10 million in volume. And we knew, okay, we need another agent to help us. And so then that year in 2016, we started building the sales side of our business, and we hired our first agent recruit, which is actually, she's still with us today.
How cool.
Her name's Daryl. She's our operations leader. And now she's not doing sales anymore, but she's doing and helping us run our team. But yeah, she came in almost 9 years ago, and that was our first hire. And we decided, okay, from there, we're going to start building. And we just started building and adding and following the model.
That's awesome. Now, I've been speaking with many different team leaders, owners of real estate groups, et cetera, especially on the mortgage side as well. And there comes a time in a team's growth process to where you either lose some team members, you add more team members, you find out that it's maybe not the right fit for that position. So you move them to the other side of the transaction, the selling side, or on the marketing side, et cetera. When you guys were going through that, let's call it growth trajectory that you were on, what was the I guess, most important thing for you guys to hone in when you were seeking out new team members?
Yeah, great question. I mean, I think a lot of it, I will say, I didn't know it at this time, but we started building as the market was growing.
Okay.
So that's one thing retrospect, if you would have talked to me 6 years ago when the market was doing pretty well and it was on that good growth, you'd be talking to a different Zach. I was very egotistical. I thought I was the shit. I thought I knew everything. And I rode the market.
If it means anything, you are the shit.
I appreciate that. But I learned, and I said, there's like going about like, wow, I'm a badass. And then I realized, okay, there's some things I learned, and I realized I learned that the wrong way. And also I was in my 20s, my mid to late 20s. I didn't know what I was doing. I got to a point where I was building, I just was testing things.
Sure.
But I learned so much during that time. And I would say what I was looking for were people who were like me.
Yeah.
I was very lucky and very grateful that I found a lot of people who were driven, money hungry. They loved success, and they were high achieving people.
Yeah.
So as we were bringing them into our world, to us, it was like you sell automatically like 18 to 24 homes your first year. That's just what we do. Like that was the Castillo Group. That's who TCG was. You come in, we help you make money.
Right.
I remember Daryl being a part of our world. She's like, I want to go to London. Perfect. Let's create it. Put it on the dream board.
Boom.
And bam, within a year, she was in London. She bought her Louis Vuitton purse, got her Mercedes. And we were very big on helping people achieve that goal. A lot of other people, they bought their first homes. They got their cars. They got everything. We were very big on that. So we're very high production based people.
Yeah.
So when I was looking for someone, who's like, I want to close 2, 3, 4 homes a month. I said, perfect. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So that was the people we were looking for. And we were lucky that we found some good people. Some of them now they have their own team or they've separated, but they're doing great things now. And I think that was one of the things I'm the most proud to say, to be around those people, because nowadays you don't find that many high achieving people. And I think I just was in this lucky spot where we got a good group of people. Now I've realized they don't exist as often.
Man, and I'm glad you said that, because that is becoming a reoccurring topic on this show. And it is the level of expectations not meeting the level of drive and hunger and passion and fire that it should have to have the expectations that these newer agents have coming into the industry.
Yeah, very true.
Before we talk about that, I wanted to ask a question regarding the team or team members that end up going off on their own. I'm good friends with a couple of folks, Andrew and Gail being one of them, that just like myself, we've lost team members for them going off to do better things. And in our opinion, it's almost as if we go into this knowing that that is not only a possibility, but it's highly likely for that to happen.
Yes.
That being said, what are your thoughts when that comes about? I mean, is it one of those situations where you let them know how to offboard from the team?
Good. That's a great question. And beforehand, I was in La La Land. Everyone's going to stay with us. They're going to stay with us forever.
Yep.
I had a coach last year amazing coach. She's changed the way that we operate our business. She brought into me the law of three. And she's like, the law of three is you're going to have your top third, your people who are automatically your Navy SEALs. Those are the people who need your most attention. You're going to have your middle third. Those are the people that pay the bills.
Yeah.
Then you have your bottom third. You ignore your bottom third. And it sounds rude and it sounds bad because that bottom third will eventually leave.
Right.
They'll either grow up and grow through and say, hey, we're going to do this. We want to make money, or they're going to step out.
That's right.
I didn't have that bottom third as much or that middle third as much. I had all the top third and I was like, okay, this is cool. So I didn't know of this law of three.
Right.
I didn't even, there's a lot of people call it different things, but the concept is like 80-20.
When they told you that, it didn't really click then.
It didn't. And she's like, you're going to figure it out. And I said, okay.
Yeah.
And eventually I remember I told her, I was like, you're right. I have to plan for 1 out of 3 people will leave. And maybe sometimes 2 out of 3. We have to be okay. So I didn't have that experience at the beginning. We did have some turnaround, but it was also, I would see other teams and the comparison side would come up and like, oh, I don't want to be the revolving door.
Yeah.
I don't want people coming in and out. And I remember there was a couple of people I would be like, yeah, we don't want to be like them. We don't want to be like them. Well, we ended up being like them. And so I think what I learned from that was I wish I would have known that in the beginning and have that expectation, because I'm big now on expectations. You tell me, hey, 1 out of 3 people will not make it. Sounds good. I can build a business around 1 out of 3.
Right.
And so going now as I'm in rebuild mode. Luckily, I have so much experience, so much knowledge that's made this rebuild easier, but also frustrating because I had to acknowledge 1 out of 3 won't make it.
Yeah.
And it's sad, but I also share that with my agents. And I let them know, we might not be a good fit. That's okay. We won't know until we're probably 3, 4, maybe 6 months in.
That's true.
That it's not a good fit. So now in our agreement, one thing that I'm doing now that I didn't do is I'd send it to you, Mark, and just let you read it. And if you had any questions, I would just try and not answer your questions.
Right.
It was uncomfortable. I didn't want to talk about the divorce while we're getting married. And it's pretty much like a prenup. Really, like I learned that 10 years later we're signing a prenup. So when somebody gets in relationship or partnership with us, I'm now sitting down with them, walking them through that. And I'm saying, this is what would happen if we don't stay together. Yeah. And I want you to be aware of that, because that is the most important part that everybody wants to know. What's going to happen to my leads? Will I get paid? Can I work the business? We're going to have that conversation day one, and we're going to sit down and talk about it. I'm not going to let you interpret it a different way that I interpret it.
Absolutely.
Which I interpret it the way the lawyer wrote it.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm also very grateful that you mentioned that, because that in itself is a key factor that I want to hone in on regarding the expectation, and not just expectations, but the level of expectation and the depth that you see into the future, that you're crossing off all of these could be situations that more than likely are going to happen.
Yes.
And a lot of folks out there, like you said, go into it with rainbows and unicorns, thinking this is all going to be peachy for the next rest of our lives till we retire.
Yeah.
And that's just not the case. Realistically, I myself have had to rebuild multiple teams, the Mark Jones team, especially in this last, let's call it phase, chapter, season of real estate. We were all high on our hogs for 20, 21, 20, and some of 22. And then it's like, holy cow. What happened?
Yes.
Right.
And you had that's when my leadership skills had really challenged me. And then there's one quote I remember going back to, and I've heard it before multiple times, but your business grows to the extent that you do.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, I remember I wasn't growing.
Right.
During 2015 to 2020, I was spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on coaching, investment, classes, seminars, everything. I was seeing that return coming back. So it was all about growth mode. When I thought I was there, I was like, oh, I'm good. Yeah. And I wasn't investing as much as I did before. Now this time I am back in there. I'm completely invested in becoming the best leader, best real estate agent, best father, best man that I could be, because I'm happier that route. I will say too, going in that route, I didn't have kids yet. My daughters didn't come until 2018, my first one, and our second one, 2021. So during that time period, I was a little bit blessed that I just went all in.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate that, because I don't know how I would do that, because it's a struggle today.
Of course.
Big struggle, but luckily I have experience that makes up for that.
Absolutely. Now, I don't know how old the girls are. How old are?
We got 6-year-old and a 3-year-old who thinks she's 13.
Yeah, don't they all? My gosh.
Yeah.
So the idea of, and this is totally left field, but you brought it up, the idea of being a high volume producer, a high achiever, a runner and a gunner, like myself concept, I get it. It is difficult, and even going, okay, do we want to have kids, or do we want to?
It's a hard decision.
Absolutely. Then when it happens, it's like a shock. Now everything changes. What the heck do we do? The same thing that you were doing before, but now you've got a different priority that is needing to be adjusted. Once you guys had the kids, after that, did life get better, easier? Was it more of my level of drive is here, now I'm on a new level type concept?
Yeah, good. I mean, I think the hardest part was we had kids, then we got hit with COVID. So that was also
that's right.
Impacts. So 2018, then bam, we had 2020 COVID.
And then it was busy.
Yeah,
wow.
And it was busy. And then we had Zara. She came in 2021. So both my daughters are adopted. So she came in 2021. And I remember I was like, okay, how do I make this all work? And I think the biggest thing I also want to do is, like, they are my priority.
Yeah.
My business is my priority too. But I had to reassign a new role of my world. And I realized that in the beginning, I was real estate. Like, if you ask me, like, who's Zach?
Yeah.
Zach is the Castillo Group with Mariana. Like, we were real estate agents.
Yeah.
I've changed that completely now, being a father. But I remember watching Jason Kelsey did a documentary, and I forgot what it was on. And I remember he said something that I resonated with. And he says, I'm a husband. I'm a dad. I just happen to be a professional football player.
Yeah.
He's like, but this is who I am. So, like, you see his house and you saw everything he was in. I was like, you're just a normal family man, dad. Like, like, they're one of the realest families I could see. And then he said, I happen to be an NFL football star. I mean, and one of the best. And that stuck me, and said, I need to identify who Zach is, because I didn't know who Zach was. And then I happened to run this real estate company.
Right.
And that took me a little while. And as COVID came in and all that was parenting and being all that, it allowed me to look inward. Didn't also help. That's when my team was falling apart too.
Yeah, well,
we were
with
seeing
you,
everything. And I said, okay, I have to really focus on myself and figure out who I am, because I was in hustle culture. Nothing against it. I think, it got me to where I was. But if I could go back and talk to myself 10 years ago, I would say define who you are first, because I wasn't happy that first round.
Sure.
This second round, business isn't as it was before, but I'm happier.
Life is different.
Yeah, life is different. And I think my daughters did allow me they challenged me to actually think about that.
Yeah.
Without them, I don't think I would have thought about it. I think I would still be that egotistical asshole.
Totally different perspective.
Yeah.
So it's funny that you mentioned that. That's another thing that I want to hone in on. And I too went through that who am I phase. It was probably, I would say right around the 2021-ish. Business was booming. At that time, I'll be honest with you guys out there, as I always am, didn't want to be seen as Mark Jones, the mortgage guy. I'm more than that, guys. Don't you know I'm an entrepreneur? I'm founder of Review My Mortgage. I'm doing all these other things. But at the ground level, it was Mark Jones, the mortgage guy, or the branch manager, or the whatever you want to call it, the leader of the group. And at that time, I was going through a lot of soul searching to go, okay, what is it that defines me, so to speak? And I think it almost goes back to what we developed in going through the process of becoming a top producer, that hunger. You are a successful person that is willing to work harder than the next guy to achieve whatever it is that you're set out to do. And a lot of folks out there, I don't believe, have that mentality. as they go into this real estate journey.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I think that's hard. And I also get it. It's a weird business because yes, people come in, they say, I want the flexibility. I want to be able to be my own boss. But I always go back to them and I tell them, I said, look, that's perfectly fine. And I teach a lot of people in our market center and I coach a couple of real estate agents. But I think the biggest thing that I'll go and people are like, I want to make 100K. Everyone always says that 100K.
Yeah.
And I say, perfect. Let's review what you've done like the last month. If you were to pay someone a salary of $100,000, which would, let's just say that's like about $9,000, $8,000 a month. Would you pay yourself that money today knowing the work that you did?
That's a great question.
And people would be like, no, I wouldn't. So why are you asking for $100,000 if you're not acting like $100,000?
Boom.
And I think that's one of the biggest is some people show up as a $2,000 person a month.
That's right.
That's okay. I don't want 2,000 month people. I want people who want to make $100,000. So they come and they show up like that.
Yeah.
Yes, there's flexibility and I definitely get that, but the flexibility comes with a price. I do get to pick up my daughter. I do I'm able to go to events and things of that. But at what cost?
Right.
Well, there's a cost of sometimes I am working till 8, 9 o'clock at night. Sometimes I do have to take a late phone call or on a Saturday morning, get up because that's when my client needs me or that's when my agent's calling me asking a question. There's a cost to it. I'm okay with that cost because I do love the freedom.
That's right. And a lot of, to add to that, I believe a lot of folks tend to skip over the hard work piece to it. Despite what took place in your journey, all the while you had to put in the effort. You had to put in the hours. Who was it? Steve Collins talks about
He's
the idea.
actually my dad's or my family's first real estate agent.
No way.
Yes. I've known him since he's a long time ago.
He is a stud. I've had him on here before and it was just like, talk to me more, please.
Oh, he's
so good.
He'll hit you with some powerful words.
And we talked about the power of, I think it's like 10,000 hours or something like that.
Oh yeah, for mastery. Yeah,
there you go. And folks like us forget about that concept. Why? Because we've already gone through the idea of becoming the expert in our craft. We fell in love with it some way, shape, or form that allowed us to mush forward through the tough times or push further than the next person that you're competing with, so to speak. And a lot of folks that are not only getting into the business, but also have been in the business, have never pushed themselves as hard as maybe the next person that is considered a top producer expert. And they're looking around right now going, where's all the business? Well, there are phases in this business. You could have been the most successful top producer in 2020, 2021, even 2012. Who cares? It's about the next day and the next day. So until you put in that work to build the team, to lose people, to lose sleep at night, to lose hours with your family, etc., do you even deserve to have the residual type aspect of this industry?
Yeah, and it is a hard thing that it's an iceberg effect. You don't know what's under the water. You just see what's on top. And I remember like this, everyone like, well, I want what you have and I want what you do. And people don't know that when we first started, it took me like 3 years to finally approve me and Mariana to get a raise. We were on a salary, even though we were selling because we were investing back into our business.
Absolutely.
And then I remember we were like, okay, we're finally going to enjoy the fruits of our labor. And we went hard and we had a great life and we kept going. And people were like, we want that. And I said, yeah, but this was 5 years of work.
Exactly.
And going in of also, we very big on our financial thermostat of like setting what do we need to do. Mariana, she is a killer. She's a killer real estate agent. She loves it. And like this month alone, she's our top producer. 5 closings that she's going to have this month. And I'm just like, dang, when the market is slow, you're still consistently about 5 deals a month. People ask, how does she do it? And I'm like, she just hustles. And I know hustle is just the easy way to say it, but where she works her database, she works her relationship, she follows up when she says she will, she connects well with people. She understands that it's about finding the next deal. Yes, when I earn a client and I have to service them, that's awesome, but I still got to go find my next one. Every day it starts from zero.
That's right.
And we got to be always focusing on who's next. And we just always thought that way. So I think that does help. It's one of my worst things that I hate about myself, but it's also one of the best things I hate about myself is I'm never settle with what I have. Like I always want more, but I say that in a healthy way. Like I go and like, I want more for myself and other people.
Sure.
But if I don't have something I'm chasing, I can't, like, it's just not fun.
Absolutely.
So for her and I, it's always, okay, this is great. What's next? Let's keep going. In the meantime, now we're enjoying what we've done. That's one thing I didn't do. And now I'm enjoying everything that we do work. And I'm very grateful what we have. But yes, I do want to still keep going, still building. And it's something that I've learned that that's okay to keep wanting more.
Absolutely. And now that you've gone through the lumps of top producing, building a team, losing a team, rebuilding a team, you have the perspective that is a lot different that allows you to take a bird's eye view on what you guys are doing that gives you the permission to have the life, if that makes sense.
Yes.
You know where you can inject it, you know where you can't. Whereas let's say somebody that has not put in the work, they'll continue to take those breaks to go to the family event, what have you, and then wonder why they don't have production or where's the next prospect coming from.
Very true.
Does that make sense?
It does. And I'm very bad at my delivery. So I always will say, like, there's times I go back on conversations like, man, I should have said that differently. But my intention was that, like, you can't let off your foot off the gas. You got to keep going. Now, I would say it more in a rude way, but very direct, but it's true. Like, it's not that I don't celebrate successes. I just know it doesn't matter until it closes. At the end of the day, it's not closed. So you need to keep going, because what if it doesn't close? I've had deals fall apart the day of closing.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's just like, crap. Now, that's not my only deal. I have a lot of other deals, but still, I don't like not hitting my goal. So that pisses me off if I don't hit my goal. So I go back and I realize I constantly always have to replenish what I'm doing. And every day is zero. Like, I can't just be like, I got it. Even this week, I'm starting this new thing of winning the day and making sure every single day I'm adding somebody into our database that wants to buy or sell or join our team. Today is Tuesday. I'm still at zero. I've lost Monday and I've lost today. I'm still in the process of going. It's like, okay, can I just win more than I lose?
Yeah.
And that's something our coach brought into us last week. And it really blew it out of my head. I was like, okay, all I got to do is win more than I lose.
Are you using any kind of trackers or anything like that?
Really, it's a simple tracker.
Win by noon.
Oh, no, we're not using that. So it's just more like a poop emoji if I lose or a money emoji if I win.
I like it. We're
starting to incorporate that in our team and say, okay, did we add somebody to the database? Because if we're doing that 4 times out of the 7, we're winning the week.
Right.
So that's really kind of just helping us make it simple.
Sure.
And I think going in, yes, we have to constantly go, but it's like football. And you go in the playoffs, you can't win last week's game and walk in like, yeah, we scored all these points and we're walking in. No, you're walking with 0.
Clean slate.
So you got to start all over and you got to win more than you lose. And now in our playoffs are our goal. When we hit the championship, did we hit our goal? And so just changing that perspective allowed us to look different. But it's also for people, it's this business, you have to win every day. Absolutely. So if you got a new client yesterday, awesome. What are you doing today to get another one? What are you doing to get another contract? Are you moving people down the pipeline? And there's the great thing about our business, there's a lot of different cycles and phases. There's your current clients. There's the clients you just acquired. There's people under contract. There's your leads. There's a lot of different ones, but you got to focus on the lead measures that are going to get you those lag measures. And I just subscribed very early that it's all about lead generation. Yes, and I'm just that annoying guy when people give me, hey, well, this isn't working. I was like, you're not lead generating enough. And they don't like that answer. And you're just not lead generating enough. Now, what I learned is I built it all of cold calling.
Sure.
It's prospecting
the hard way.
I didn't realize there are other ways, but it's still the same thing. If I do an open house and get leads, I still got to call and prospect.
Well, let's put it this way. You don't do an open house to not get leads.
Exactly,
I mean, that is the intent of it. And there's a lot of folks out there that will do an open house and say, okay, I had great foot traffic. Great. How many of those turned into a prospect that turned into a client that is now under contract? Well, none of them. Well, then what are you doing? You're doing something wrong.
You wasted a Saturday.
Absolutely.
And I think with my daughters, I'm choosing to do an open house than spend time with my daughters.
Absolutely.
And I'm okay with that decision.
Yeah.
However, I'm not okay if I don't show up and I do bad. There's been times where I'm like, I just freaking wasted my time.
That's right.
And if I go home and my Ariana finds out I wasted my time, she's gonna be mad. She's like, hey, we're in business together. We're partners and in life and in business. But when she goes out, it's like, okay, great. If you're gonna go out on that appointment, okay, you're gonna write an offer. They didn't. Whatever. We keep each other accountable. But there's times where I used to go on appointments and she's like, you didn't close it? You didn't get the listing? And I'm like, no. And I give some stupid excuse. That was just because I lost and I wasn't strong enough to close the deal. But now I'm going in those, I'm like, I'm not closing this because I could have spent time with my girls, or I could have done X, Y, Z and enjoy this moment. That's the perspective I look at. So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to make sure I walk out either with that listing agreement, that buyer representation. I'm going to win that opportunity, or I've done everything that I know that I can sleep good at night. Tell my family, hey, I did the absolute best I could.
Absolutely.
And that's all I can do, because not everyone's going to say yes. But if I did the absolute best, why? I'm not going to get mad at myself.
Right. And I think it has a lot to do with the mindset of the failures. So for example, you don't get too excited when a deal closes, and that's not because you don't feel that excitement. It's just that was the intention.
Yeah,
I set out to prospect this person. I now have them as a client. I now have the buyer's rep agreement or the listing agreement, and the goal was to sell this property or sell them a property. We did that. So now the next thing that I have to gauge my progress on is, where's my next prospect coming from?
Exactly.
That's more important or more appeasing and gratifying for you as a top producer, I would imagine, just like myself, than the deal closing.
Yeah. My favorite part, and I look at the sales cycle ends for real estate agents, is when they sign an agreement with you. Like, that's truly, they got to that, because the rest, you can control a lot of it, but once they say yes, it's really weird. People change after they sign that agreement.
Absolutely.
They're not as crazy. They're not as, interviewing you and grilling you and on your ass about everything. When they hire you, it's like everything goes away.
Yeah.
And now they trust you. To me, that's the more exciting part. So when they hire me, I'm very big on that experience, because now I just got to deliver, which I know I can, because,
10,000 hours you've done there.
Yeah. And a lot of it too, we've built our team around that. So when people partner with our agents, it's like, just get them to sign with you. We'll help you take care of the rest. Yeah. We have admin to help you. We have marketing. Like, we'll take care of the rest. I just need you to get them to say yes.
Gotcha.
And so everything we're focusing on is, okay, just get people to say yes. Because if I get a new client every single week, well, I should sell 30, 40 homes.
Absolutely.
All I got to do is let them follow the process. And if they don't, I have enough people that I should still sell 30 homes.
Right. That's right.
So it's just the way I've kind of focused on. And like right now, my main goal is, can I get a new client? And then every week, can I get a new contract? They're not all going to close, but that alone, if I'm only working 40 weeks, hey, that's good enough business for me. I'm sure it's good enough for business for a lot of other people.
Absolutely it is. Yeah. And I guess one last question before we dive into some current events and what's going on with the market. But what would you attribute you guys' success as a team to the most? If I had to pick multiple things, leadership, prospecting, et cetera, because from what I gathered thus far, you're not doing anything crazy out of the ordinary, promoting TikTok videos and on billboards or anything like that. So what is it that adds that?
That makes it. Yeah, that's a great question. And it's weird. I guess this is my answer. And I think it's because I am so operations based and systemized and model based.
Yeah.
You tell me it works, I'm going to run the model. I'm like, yeah, that works. So I've followed a lot of models, and I've followed other people who've been as successful, and they say, do this. I've learned to just say, what if I just do what they're telling me to do? Because most of the time people say, no, I don't want to do that. I'm going to try to do it my way.
True.
And I've learned with my team, I would tell them what to do and they don't do it. I'm like, why do you think I'm telling you this? Like, do you think I'm just telling you this just to tell you? No.
So you're saying it's not just me that...
No, it's not just you. And so but then I also put that mirror in front of me and say, well, if they're telling me this too, why am I not doing it?
Good point.
And I said, okay, I'm just going to subscribe to what people are telling me to do. And so that was from the beginning. So when people said build a team, build a team. All right, you have too many leads. Go ahead and get inside sales agent, help you with that. And I think if I go back, I always had a coach, a business coach, and I had accountability. So if I go back, I had somebody who was feeding me the models and systems. I was the person that I'm just going to listen to you. And I applied what they said. I didn't do it 100%, but I had some type of playbook or some type of guide.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to do this my own, you're wasting time, because people have done it beforehand. Might as well just follow, because they're leaving the breadcrumbs for you anyways. And I'm very big on that when I teach people. Like, I will tell you everything I do. It is up to you to actually take it and apply it. It's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. But I do know if I just follow the model, then I'm good. So I leave a lot of the success to having a coach and having a model that I actually fell in love with and follow.
That's awesome. And from my perspective, basically what you're saying is you have the ability unlike many, to be able to work on the business, not just in the business.
Yes. I don't have to work a lot in the business. I think people think about that.
Mm-hmm.
I can work 2 to 3 hours in my business, which is lead generating, going on an appointment a day. And really, I'm focusing a lot on the business. How am I growing it? How do I become profitable? How do I do that? That's where a majority of my time is.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I'm actually a part-time real estate agent. My main role is operating and running the team.
I like that.
But I'm a part-time real estate agent, which is, I tell some people, and I don't mean it rudely, but if I can sell homes and run my team, run my business, I'm up at, we have power hours, I have power ups, all these things, all these meetings, one-on-ones, and I'm still able to sell 2-3 homes a month, then you have no reason that you can't either. The only difference is my database, I have a history of it.
Correct.
But anyone has a history of their database. It's just actually following the plan and putting it in place, which that's the hardest part. It's boring to do that. I know it's not fun.
Right.
I try to make it fun, but I know it.
And that is the tough part of this business. That is the part that you get the most rejection. That is the part that takes the most time. And it's daunting at times when you're someone that has never been in sales or never had to justify their value to a stranger in many cases.
And get told no. Like today I got told no. I had a great person who's going to shadow our team today. We had a great conversation and he's like, oh, I decided to go somewhere else. I'm like, what? Then I'm like, this sucks. And I'm like, it's the conversion rate. Everyone talks about it. And I'm like, well, crap. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm mad at myself because I didn't hit my goal that I talked about winning day. Did I add another person to the pipeline? No, I haven't. So that's what I'm more mad about. Not the fact that he said no. It's the fact that I put all my eggs in that basket.
Yeah.
So I go back, okay, as long as every single day I can add one new person to my pipeline, which I did add him to the pipeline. He's still a nurture for us.
There you go.
However, that's where I'm actually more mad at because, if I lose a deal or something, I'm mad because I don't have something to replace it.
Right.
If I had something to replace it, which I remember during COVID times, I was like, oh, a deal lost, whatever.
No
we're
biggie.
Good. No biggie. We got like 15 more coming.
Yes.
But the truth of it is that's a different feeling when you have a good pipeline and you have it. And so that's the reason why we get mad at ourselves because we know the things we're not doing that we should do, which it's in the model. If you follow the model, and you don't have to do it 100%. So for everyone who's listening, don't go 100% in. You could just do it 70%.
Yeah.
That's better than what you're doing today.
Well, there's a lot of folks that ask me, and I'm sure you get the same kind of questions, is what is the key to success? What is the thing that separates you? How do you get your business? Where does it come from, et cetera? And for you out there listening, Zach filled you in on something a moment ago that is gold. The idea of not finding, and this sounds cliche, but not finding the one thing, but doing all of the things to make sure that, hey, if I'm going to determine if open houses is going to work or cold calling, expired listings, you got to find your niche. You can't just dive down this hole with one way of getting business and think that you're going to be successful. Now, not all of those work for everyone, but they do work all of the time, if that makes sense. It's like we all start with the basics. And I mention this quite often when it comes to, well, what's working for you now? And I tell my loan officers, I jumped back in at the beginning of this year into producing. And now I've got a bunch of loans in the 5, 6 million, 7 million in the pipeline. They're like, well, what are you doing? The basics.
Calling my database.
Literally calling the database, returning the phone calls, doing the open houses, all of the things that I'm telling you guys to do, I'm doing a lot of them.
Which is crazy to think because, one, I appreciate you for sharing that because I think there's a lot of team owners and people just like you are saying, I had to jump back in production. And a lot of the masterminds I go through, I'm hearing that constantly. It's like, I'm having to jump back into production, have to jump back in production. And I remember there was a time where getting out of production was like the golden land. It was like, you got to get out, let everybody else do it. And then I realized, why did I stop producing? Like, I'm actually good at it.
I thought the same damn thing. I had the conversation with my operations manager. We both were like, you never should have stopped producing. I know. I mean, that phone call, Mama, I made it. And I picked it back up a couple of years later. Mama, I got to go back into it.
Yeah. Well, then I realized, okay, I'm going to approach it differently. I'm going to do the model. Yeah. If I'm telling my agents to do, I'm going to do it as well too. So I've been playing the model and been going through. It's not fun. And I can also sympathize and say, yeah, it's not fun, but I know it works.
Right.
And I know all you got to do is just follow the database.
Absolutely.
And the database isn't just people, it's leads, it's whatever. And we've built a huge database in our 10 years where I go in and like all the business I want is in that database.
Yeah.
I know it's there. I just have to actually do the job.
You got to work it.
I just got to work it.
It's
and there
all
goes in
different conversations that tend to lead to different things. And put it this way, if people out there didn't have problems, they wouldn't have us to solve them. I mean, it's like, what do we do?
Yeah.
Well, go find somebody's problem you can solve. And there you go. There's a paycheck.
Very true. Very
Weird.
true. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a different approach, and I'm excited about this new journey because I'm coming in. I'm still actually want to sell a ton of real estate.
That's awesome.
But I want to do it efficiently. I had a vision as going in. It's like, how do I build a real estate team so big and so good enough that I would also want to house my business there?
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And that's basically what we're building here. Now it's called HomeBase, as we rebranded it. And the main goal is let my Homebase take care of everything, and I can work on my relationships. I can run multiple business or run multiple roles. It's just, let me show you how to do it. But I can't preach what I don't do.
Absolutely.
And so I follow it. My database is on it. I get graded on my database every single week. I'm not as high as some of my agents, and I know that, but I will give myself a pound back. I grew by 16% based on my score yesterday.
How cool.
But that's little things we put in place. It's like, okay, let's just work on the database, get doing that. And if our coaches say, just do that and you'll be successful.
Right.
Okay, well, I'll just do what you're telling me. Why say no if you've proven it to be correct?
I love that.
So that's kind of the new era. I'm just saying yes and subscribing. And I'm also being careful what I say yes to now.
That makes sense. Protecting your time. Matter of fact, I learned that, it had to have been maybe 8 years into the business. My coach told me, hey, I'm giving you permission to say no. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Your time is valuable. There's just some things that you have to say no to. Not everything, not everyone you can help. Oh, okay. Light bulb. Then it was like, okay, now I've got a little bit more time to do more of the things that actually do move the needle.
Very true.
JC, how are we doing on time?
53 minutes in.
Okay, we've got probably about another 10 minutes or so.
All right,
with
go.
that being the case, if you want to throw this reference up, JC, I've got a couple of things. So I'm going to preface this next quick conversation on the following. And for those that are listening and not viewing, I've got Redfin up. It's San Antonio, Texas market data. Let's see here. It says the San Antonio housing market is somewhat competitive. Homes in San Antonio receive 2 offers on average and sell in around 73 days. The median sales price in San Antonio was $250,000 last month, down 3.9% from last year. The median sales price square footage in San Antonio is at $151, down 3.5% from last year, showing the median just under 250. Number of homes sold, 849, and medium days on market. So I want to play this quick video, and then we'll comment about what's going on in the market, what we're seeing, and what we're doing to stay relevant. And
The housing market starting in 2025. According to the National Association of Realtors, existing home sales dropped to about 4 million in 2024. That's the lowest since 1995. So what can buyers and sellers expect moving forward? Well, we've got real estate broker and president of R New York, Stephanie Birkin, here with the answer. Steph, good to see you.
Good to see you, Al.
Okay, so let's start with mortgage rates.
Yes.
Where are we right now, and can we expect them to drop at all this year?
Yeah. So just like you said, we've been through a tough year. I'm feeling optimistic about 2025. Okay, the rates as of this morning were in the high sixes, 6.875. I think we're going to be, we've been hovering above 6%. We've dipped into 7%. I do think that they're going to ease a little bit, but I really want people to adjust their expectations, right? Plan for 7 because we've seen them there.
Wow.
Be pleasantly surprised by 6. Do not hold out for 3. That 3 number, I just don't think that we're seeing again. And I just want to make a note quickly that the mortgage rates don't directly track what the Fed is doing, right? So they're more impacted by the 10-year Treasury. So when you see these headlines, Fed's cutting rates, Fed's cutting rate, it's much more gradual in terms of the impact for the mortgage rates.
Okay, so how does this impact inventory, and does it favor buyers or sellers?
Yes. So we see that rates affect pricing, so does supply and demand. Inventory is really tight right now. Why? Because a lot of homeowners are locked in to this sub 4% rate, and they don't want to give that up. Buyers have a lot of pent up demand because it's still an unaffordable market, right? So what we're going to see is when these rates ease a little bit and supply is freed up by some new construction, I don't think that's going to fundamentally change the market, but it's trending in the right direction. That will help demand. That will help loosen up supply. We're seeing these small, steady improvements that are going to get us back to a normal, stable market. So don't think drastic changes. Think small, steady improvements that'll get us back to behind us is the worst of it. We've turned a corner. We're going to get more normal and stable.
All right, come on down the line
Yes.
here. All right, so as buyers are continuing their hunt, what are some tips to keep in mind?
So I know it sounds simple, Laura, but you have to understand your finances. And a lot of people don't. It's a new year. Go through the motion as if you're getting a mortgage. It'll make you get organized. You can figure out what you have in liquidity, in cash, what your credit score is, and then what you can afford, right? You want to look for these assistance programs, FHA, VA. It helps you not just with down payment, but with your closing costs. And as we know, buying, anybody who's been through it, it's so personal. Understand what you want and what you need and educate yourself on the market. And also, it's never too late to start saving, especially for my millennials and my Gen Zers out there. Every check that comes in, take a little bit off of it and put it into savings. And buyers are looking different now, Laura. We're seeing more cash buyers. People are forgoing the financing process or having it be more delayed. The median age is 38 now. People are waiting a little bit longer. We're seeing more female single buyers. It's outpacing the men buyers, and warm up the process to stand out. It's personal, right? They're two humans, so warm it up to stand out as a buyer.
Okay, so JC, you can kill that. There were some good things talked about there. That was the first time I had watched that clip, so it's always like, oh shit, what are they gonna say on this USA Today? And a lot of times, it's a lot of fear mongering. This case, I think that was pretty good advice all the way around. The one thing that I do recommend to those listening that are maybe home buyers, renters, etc., is to get off of the media, only because when they do these things like this, they're talking about the industry as a whole, and real estate is local. It does not matter which market you're in, guaranteed it's different than the next market. That being said, Zach, what do you think about what's going on in our market in San Antonio?
Yeah, no, I will say I'll commend her, because that's she talked very well and gave hope for people. And I think a lot of people have always talked about fear, but I think going in, a lot of people don't want to talk about real estate. They don't want to talk about, we call people all the time and they're like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. I'm not ready. I think the biggest thing that it can take away is put that fear away and just talk to someone about it. Our mission at our team is delivering the dream of home ownership through an exceptional real estate service, one person, one home at a time.
Love it.
With that, I want to sit down with you. I want to talk with you. If it doesn't make sense for you to buy, doesn't make sense to buy. However, if you want to buy, let's leave with a plan, because I can give you a plan.
That's right.
It's up to you. It's like a model with real estate.
Yeah.
It's up to you if you do it. But I'm here and I have that knowledge and that expertise that I could tell you exactly what you need to save, how much it's going to cost. Here's roughly what it might look like. We don't know. This is today's numbers, but at least give you some information and at least give you a plan.
Absolutely.
So I think a lot of people, when I hear that, just talk with a real estate agent, talk with a mortgage officer and say, this is what I want to do. How can I do it? Yeah. And is it possible? I think it's more possible for people than they realize. But what I do love that she put on there, put your wants and your needs. We might not get everything we want right now. House prices have gone up. I think that's just the unfortunate part. I mean, it's great. Equity is growing, but
absolutely,
our average San Antonio person can't buy the average home or even the median home right now.
That's correct.
But one thing I do know, and I track the market very well, 1 out of 3 homes is new construction. New construction is leading a lot of our sales.
That's right.
They as well are bringing our values down. If you look at existing homes, prices are pretty stable and a little bit growing, but they're not moving as quickly because new construction is actually down on their prices because they have something we normal humans can't provide. They have the capital, they have all the benefits and the features and
the rate
and the rates,
everything. You're right.
Yeah. So I think it comes into just talk with someone about it, because you just don't know what you don't know, and just don't shut the conversation. I think right now we're at a time where rents and mortgages are very similar.
Yeah.
I would rather be putting money towards something that could potentially grow, and versus being in an apartment and I'm still settling. If you're in an apartment or you're in a rental, you are probably still settling.
Absolutely.
So if you're okay settling, why don't you settle with a home at the exact same price?
That's such a great point and a powerful concept in it. because a lot of folks tend to allow fear of finding out or fear of asking the how question overcome them versus just, hey, get it all out there. It doesn't mean you have to move forward. But she mentioned something that if you are considering going through the mortgage process or buying a home, start pretending like you are. And a lot of folks really don't understand what that even entails. So that being said, reach out to a realtor, reach out to a mortgage lender that can at least give you a blueprint. Hey, I don't need to pull your credit or anything like that yet. If this is what you're wanting to do, here are the steps. This is what we look at. And a lot of times it goes by CIA, credit, income, assets. That's what we want to look at. Matter of fact, we made a funny video reel today with my loan officers talking about, it was like a recreation of the Maury Povich show. The results are in, and that is a lie. The idea of a lot of people not applying because they think student loans are going to keep them from being able to qualify, or a poor credit score is going to keep you from qualifying, or not having a down payment. All of those are myths given the situation. The goal is to find some good advocates that can give you that right information, guide you, be the light that's guiding that path, so to speak. That being the case, I mean, I know there's a lot of folks out there that are having some tough times in real estate, whether you are with a team, individual agents, mortgage lenders out there. I want to ask the last and final question to you, Zach. What would you recommend? What would you give them in way of some type of advice to get them back on track or on track to begin with?
Yeah, I would say have a really good business plan. I know it's very cliche, easy to say, but I believe that the first step to even self-mastery is one, where am I going? Mm-hmm. What is the goal that I want to accomplish? Again, people will tell me $100,000 is what I want to make. Let's be real. You know, I'll start bringing that number down. Say, if you walked away with 60, would you still be fine? Like, yeah, I'd still be okay. What about 50? Yeah, I could do 50. Okay, what about 40? Nope, can't do 40. All right, then the number's 40. We need to be around there. Let's just get there. Right. I think, yes, I'm all about dreaming big. I'm extremely about dreaming big. But when it's this market and it's hard, it's what is really needing to happen. Yeah. If you only need to clear $5,000 a month, okay, that might be just one closing. Where are you at? And we could do, you know, in my team, I do the math backwards and tell you exactly how many people you need to have for that. Then it's saying, okay, then I need to get to that number. But if you're constantly shooting for 100K and you're never even getting close to it, that's not a real goal. No. And I think we just have to be real with ourselves and say, what does this need to look like? And understand and subscribe that it's going to take 90, maybe 120 days to see those results. And I tell this to so many of the agents that do unfortunately leave me, and they leave during that first 3 months. I said, man, if you would have just kept going on, you would have seen the fruits of your labors, but it does not come until month 3 or 4 when you start seeing it.
That's right.
But I would go back into the last thing is focus on winning your week, winning more than you lose. Mm-hmm. You got 7 days out of the week. Can you win 4 out of those 7 days? And in those 4 days, can you add one new person to your database that's thinking about wanting to buy or sell in the next 12 months? If you do that every single week, you have 200 people, and I call them nurturers, 200 people that are wanting to make a move in the next year. If you only have a goal of selling 12 or 20 of those, you're golden. So if every week you can just add 1 or 4 people and do it 1 a day, and the reason I say 1 a day is because you want to win 4 days out of the 3.
Yeah.
Because there are days
win more than you lose.
Yeah, you just win more than you lose. If you do that, you're eventually going to make it to the playoffs and you'll hit your championship, which is your goal.
Absolutely. So, and that being said, for those of you out there that are listening and this resonates with you, the first step in taking this is to make sure you're tracking what you're doing. There's no way to actually change the plan if you never wrote the plan down to begin with and you're just flying by the seat of your pants. It's almost like the idea of taking an individual dart to shoot at a dartboard, or grabbing all the darts and throwing them at the dartboard and hoping that you hit the bullseye. It's one of those things that a business plan, your activities, tracking, gauging the results at the end of the week, month, whatever it may be, to determine what needs to change. Do I need to turn up or down the level of activities that I'm doing so that I can get to the results that I sought out to achieve? Bottom line, right?
Yeah. Last thing I would add on that, it's, you know, I use this analogy to a lot of people when I say, this is like me going to my doctor and saying, hey, here's all my issues. Mm-hmm. I'm tired. I don't feel well. My back is hurting, all these problems. And they say, all right, let's get a blood test. I'm like, nope, I don't want a blood test. Just tell me what's wrong with me. The doctor's going to tell me, I can't tell you what's wrong with you if you don't go do the activities, which I need your blood to get the examples to be able to say, okay, what is wrong with you? And I think there's a lot of times people say, well, what am I doing wrong? Well, if you're not tracking what you're doing, it's unable to be coachable and show you an action plan because you don't even know what you're doing. And be honest with yourself and say, hey, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. At least you acknowledge that. So
amen to that. Well, Zach, this has been a great discussion.
Same. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I mean, we've been neighbors for quite some time now. The first time we're having a discussion like this. So maybe we'll have you back on when Mariana can join us. We
Definitely.
Get some insight.
She has a lot of good nuggets.
From the better half.
Yes. You'll probably get more of her raw moments than
I
me.
love it.
So.
No, this was great. Again, thank you for joining me on this discussion. Those of you out there, I appreciate the continued support. And as mentioned and as committed to, I promise to continue to bring you guys top producing experts in the field of real estate, mortgage lending, and entrepreneurship so that we can continue to share our nuggets because at the end of the day, it doesn't do us any good just living in our brains. These are experiences. These are trials and tribulations that we've been through. And our goal is to help you in any way, shape, or form, not step on the same landmines that we have already. That being said, guys, I will catch you on the next one.
Trying to become a homeowner is so frustrating. I mean, I wish it were easy to find out what options or things I may qualify for.
There actually is an easier way. I'd love to tell you about it.
Oh, there is? Hold on, let me call you back. Okay, I'm interested. What's the catch?
There's no catch. If you have 2 minutes, I can literally show you now. It's really easy.
Sure, let's go.
Okay. It's going to coach you line by line and have you answer some questions that'll identify the best loan products for you, starting with the property address, which is specific to the area which programs will work for you. It's going to guide you through a series of numbers, loan options, and give you everything so you can choose what works best for you.
Well, I had no idea there were so many options out there for me. It was so easy, it was so quick, and you didn't even have to run my credit.
I know, I told you in less than 2 minutes, right? Did I make it?
You did. Let's go.
All right, let's go.